probably helps if you can hear me. There we go. There we go. Hello, muted, no sound. Okay, let's start over. Can you hear me now? Yes. Okay, I think you can. The boom mic was not on here. Okay, let me start over. Wednesday live stream. Last week we streamed on Thursday because I forgot which day of the week it was. We built this AI skill kind of repo thing, just kind of exploring having Claude generate what we found during the stream to be called commands, these little slash commands. So those are all housed here. And then I did a little work offline to kind of finish those up. We kind of programmed those with like wishful thinking. Can we hear me? Yes. Okay, cool. Yes, better. Hey, Samuel, how's it going? Falsy value. Okay. We're going to assume you're not a bot. We'll see. Yes, Paddock. Sorry. Yes, I was muted there. Well, it wasn't muted. I didn't have my microphone on at all. So today the point is I want to demonstrate these in action. They were originally Claude skills. I've done some work to kind of break these out, which I believe, I was actually taking a look. There's like these Laravel AI skills. I guess there's like this open directory, which you can hook in, which takes advantage of like this skills.sh kind of movement. So like there's like this npx stuff. You can add it through Boost or you can add it through npm effectively. I think if we go look at like this particular repo has like hundreds of these what they call Claude skills, but they're actually for anything. So you can add it as a marketplace, but I think there's also like this npx pattern. It might be in the article. Yeah, if you look here, like this npx skills add. So there's an ability to kind of add these more generically for other models. So again, I built this originally as Claude. I've kept kind of that Claude plugin. That's what I'm probably going to demo today. But the other day, I kind of restructured this repo and added kind of this generic skill with the appropriate front matter, which should allow it to be picked up by that npx skill thing. I need to check on that. I'm not familiar with that because, again, I kind of use Claude. So that's kind of the way this is set up now. So let's see this in action because we did a little bit last week, but we kind of programmed by wishful thinking, as Jess Archer used to say when we paired together. And I needed to go back and like fill in some API things and make some things real. And then of course, refine the markdown like significantly. And I'm still refining the markdown. So let's dog food this thing. Let me show you what we got. So I am actually going to go to WP Static. This is a site JT and I worked on. Let me make sure, whoops. Let me type correctly and make sure I have everything. Okay, good. So we're all up to date. So what I want to do, I don't think we've run Claude in this project yet because we kind of built this like 2 years ago, pre-big AI movement. So first I need to update this plugin. So let me go to plugins, installed, this shift plugin. I'm going to update now. Yeah, I'm only on 02 when I was building it last week. I think it's like 05 now, right? I'm still messing with it. So you can already see some of these commands here, the shift review and so forth. But let me finish this reload plugins bit just so we make sure we got the latest. Okay, cool. So, I thought it was in the terminal. Not clear. Yeah, I meant that. Yeah, we don't have any context anyway. Okay, cool. So I recently built this skill. This skill's overarching. I think for right now, let's just do this kind of incrementally so I can talk about the commands that were built last week. So basically we have shift analyze, okay? So what I talked about last week and what I finished building was basically this shift analyze looks at the project. It's assuming it's a Laravel application and it figures out which shifts probably need to be run. It's going to prioritize any kind of Laravel upgrade first. So I went in and kind of tuned the markdown to be aware of the catalog and prioritize any kind of Laravel upgrade first, so long as there's no kind of blocker. So right away, it's saying your app is on Laravel 12. The next step is to run this shift. Okay, and it suggests to run it with the code, which takes us to the next command, the actual shift run command. So now I can just hit tab and do that based on the suggestion. So it's going to go ahead and run this shift 13 bit. I think we have that set. If I don't have it set, I can go full screen me and drop my token in. It's not set. Okay. Let's do that. Paste the token in below. All right. Okay, let me go full screen me and let's get my token. All right, full screen me. Hello, everyone. Let's go get my token. I guess I could rotate it after the stream, but whatever. It's gonna be like, it's gonna be in the window. Let me let Claude like get a little farther ahead. Let's give Claude a second. So I pasted in my token. It's gonna go here now. Let's see here. Continue. So it's saying I've got some changes locally. All right, continue without committing. Yes, create a new branch. Let's let it get a little bit farther. It's kind of annoying about the token. All right, almost there. Okay, I think I can stop here. I think we're past some of the token stuff. All right, let me close anything I'm gonna leak. Let me go back to shared screen. All right, cool. There we go. Okay, so we're back. Okay, so just to catch you up here, basically it asked for the token. Then the next thing it does is make sure that the state of the repo is clean. In this case, I had some uncommitted changes for the Claude directory, of course, because this was brand new. I said you can ignore those. And then it said, hey, you're on the master branch. Do you want to, Shift recommends doing this on a separate branch. Even though shifts always create their own branch, it's just kind of good if you're going to do a bunch of shifts to just kind of be separate, and then you can put it all in as one, right? Instead of like, oh, Laravel 13, oh, I'm also going to upgrade to Livewire 4 as part of that, and now I've got like all these PRs going into, main or master or whatever, instead of just the one. So anyway, now it's suggesting to do that, so it's going to go ahead and do yes. So let's just say yes, you can check out the branch. So again, this run command, the analyze command is going to systematically look at your project, figure out what shifts you need to run. You don't have to go to the website and kind of guess and all that stuff yourself. Oh, thank you, fucking Claude. Leak my fucking token there. All right, cool. I'm gonna go rotate that in a minute. So you have like 12 minutes to borrow my token there if you want. Anyway. Okay, so it's gonna pull this. Thanks for showing the token yet again. All right, so much fun, Claude. Okay, we can do curl there. All right. Yes, you can read. I hate that it asks so many questions. Like, of course you could, do something else here, but anyway. Okay, cool. So it did all that. It called the API, it used the token, la 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 la, and it's gonna say now that okay, shift is whatever. You can go here and like monitor it. There's no like callback right now. That might be something I build in later, but I think there's enough here to kind of say that what it needs to do. So we're going to wait for it to appear here, hopefully. We'll give it just a second. And then it's already guided us to say, okay, go to the next command, the review command. So let's give this a second to see if it pops up here. There it is, Laravel 13 shift. So we'll go ahead and hit tab. We'll come back. We'll kind of take a peek at this to let Claude get ahead for a second, wait till it prompts us for a question. So with any shift that you run, of course, you get, these nice atomic commits, but more importantly, you get, some additional things you should look at. And this is where I've done a pretty good job of like adding some AI prompts, but this just pushes it even further, right? Like, as you can see, we're just in our prompt. I've always wanted Shift to be like closer to the developer, whether that's the terminal or whatever. Now it's prompts, whatever it might be. So the review step that we're getting into now, basically, it's kind of like the Laravel skill, but on steroids. The Laravel skill for the upgrade that was kind of first party released, the best thing it does is kind of cycle through Composer. And that's kind of exactly what this is going to do now. But it's actually going to systematically also, again, go back and look at each one of these. And if it has one of these prompts, it knows to kind of look for this automate more and then pull the markdown snippet. So it basically automates the review of the automated PR, and it's kind of told like, emphasized like trust Shift's changes, because that's another thing that happens I notice sometimes when using AI and Shift is like if Composer didn't update or whatever, it'll like look at the new PHP attributes and think, oh, you can't use attributes, and it starts like reverting changes. So it's kind of like, no. These changes are legit. Like we can trust them from Shift. They're reliable. So if something's wrong, like prompt the user and give them like full detail on why you would need to revert this. So anyway, a lot of stuff you would actually need to like look at here, right? Other dependencies to check out. Running Livewire 3, so we should see that it suggests to bump to Livewire 4, and it can go ahead and run the shift and kind of, again, keep us in this like automated, guided, completely run kind of thing. So here's the part that's really cool. Again, I think this is actually, in my opinion, what the Laravel upgrade command does best is just basically, and it's not even the upgrade command per se, it's just, this is where AI is awesome, in my opinion. Just churn through the dependencies and get them compatible. Like Shift makes an effort to do that kind of statically based on, the thousands of Laravel projects it tracks plus the core dependencies, but it doesn't do everything, right? And it doesn't know your system specifics. Are you running 8.4, PHP 8.4 or PHP 8.5 or still running 8.3? AI knows that because you're local in kind of your environment. So anyway, and it's also, again, it's relying on, try running it with no scripts, based on what Shift says. So there's a lot of combined intelligence here, which I think is just, it makes it so much more powerful. So let's let that churn for a second. Yes, yes, it wouldn't be a JMac stream without some kind of leak. I seem to do that. Despite my best efforts to show just me, Claude comes back and says, oh, here's what we changed. Here's your freaking token. Thanks. Anyway, let's let this keep cranking. So what are we? We're like 6 minutes in here. But again, the point is, it's other than saying yes 1,000 times, like, it's fully automated. Okay, let's see here. Let's kind of review some of this. Okay, so Composer update succeeded before continuing. 2 follow-up shifts were suggested. So it suggested Livewire and PHP unit. Cool. Now it's going through the comments. It's going to give us a summary here in a minute, but so it's going to go through the comments. Cache only stores Boolean, no PHP objects. So this is safe as is. It's noting these changes, which I've talked about in previous kind of streams and demo videos. This is actually a pretty huge change in my opinion. So it kind of lets us know to do these. Let's see what else. It's republishing stuff based on that. Looks like all tests passed. Let me identify the one risky test. Okay, that's fine. That probably pre-existed. But see, it's running the test. It's doing everything. Like it's again, this is where AI is cool. Just automate all that stuff. Like Shift gives you this really contextual, straightforward stuff to do. And I would love to have Shift automate it, but there are reasons where kind of the fidelity, the probability that Shift would get that right kind of starts to diminish. I don't know about the cache prefixes, right? I don't know about your environment specifics. You may not be using this package anymore. It was a legacy thing, just kind of left in there and forgotten. I can't bump a third-party package. So there's things here you're always going to have to review based on your environment. Like I don't see production environment. You may not be committing your .env files. Like there's all sorts of reasons why Shift, again, can't reliably make that change and therefore leaves this comment. But I've always wanted to automate it. And now with AI, I think that we can. Okay, let's see. Okay, the risky test has no assertion. This appears pre-existing. Cool, yeah, it's unrelated, no problem. Okay, cool. So here we go, all done. Here's the full summary. Changes made by Shift, blah, 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 blah. That's all in the PR. Again, it summarizes for us. Additional changes made. So ran artisan migrate to complete the new cache expiration index migration. Cool. And it cleared all the stuff. It's reminding us that you should set these, to avoid any session invalidation. So we can. Pre-existing issue has no assertions. We can fix that. And then suggested shifts to follow up. So we could say, do you want to go ahead and merge this PR? You could say, yes, merge it. And it's going to commit the changes, push them up and merge it. Now, I'm not going to do that because one thing I noted here was that I think I saw when we were scrolling through this, this is run on a separate server and it's auto-deployed when things are merged. Oh, we're Laravel upgrade. Okay, see, another reason why you do the Laravel upgrade branch. So yes, merge it, because it's not going to go to master and it won't be auto-deployed. So yes, merge it. Okay, so it checks, you have uncommitted changes. Okay, so it says, yes, commit with a summary, recommended. Okay, cool, yes, commit with a summary. So again, that was in the markdown. It says, oh, if you have uncommitted changes, say finalizing upgrade, and then in the summary, put the same summary you just displayed. So it's going to do that. We should see that it does that. So it's really just the composer lock file, it says here. So that's all good. I could probably add some nuance to that too. Like if the only change is the composer lock file, then commit it with composer update. Okay, cool. PR128 merged, branch deleted. Congratulations, now running the latest version of Laravel. Once merged, consider running the Laravel fixer to clean up any remaining issues. Cool. Little nuance there. It probably should... See, it's funny. The prompt says shift run L4, which is Livewire 4. That's the correct prompt. That's incorrect. So I probably need to clean up some of the markdown, like context guidance there that... It did recommend those way up here somewhere. Yeah, to run those next. So it seems like that is wrong. So that's the whole thing. So start to finish, what was this? What's our video count here? 17 minutes. I chatted and was muted for the first 5. So in 12 minutes, we upgraded the project, fully automated, did nothing, touched no code, opened no editor. And we have an incredibly reliable upgrade. Reliable not only from Shift with its much more thorough change set, but also AI kind of double checking it with the context of Shift. So again, best of both worlds, I think. This is merged and ready to go, and it did all the stuff in here. So there's a couple action items, right? Setting those ENVs, double checking the PHP unit stuff, but it summarized that for us. And we can stay in this cycle now, right? It's already saying right here, tab, hey, go ahead and run L4, the Livewire 4, right? Let's just, hey, whatever, let's just go ahead and hit that. So that's kind of the thing, right? That's the beauty of kind of these commands and the skill, and that's the goal, is to kind of have you be able to, you're already in, your prompt. So now when you're saying, hey, I need to upgrade my Laravel application, if you have this skill, it's going to know to go through these commands and kind of systematically do it with Shift. So there you go. Another one's been queued. We can go check the pools out. We can continue doing this on and on and on. So it'd be really cool if, again, some of this was polling. I'm sure I could probably figure out how to do that or just have it check. But yeah, as soon as that's done, again, we just hit tab to get the next prompt that it's guiding us to. It's going to go ahead and review that, so we can do this. 20, 30 minutes I'm in here, I'm going to have a fully upgraded project, fully modernized code base, and all I did was just babysit AI, right? It relied on Shift to get, again, kind of a higher fidelity, better change sets, and a more thorough upgrade. So that's it. I think that's pretty sweet, right? Again, I've always wanted to have Shift automate as much as possible, but some things just aren't Shift's responsibility. And I think that's where AI is really filling a nice gap in regards to Shift. I think AI is obviously awesome on its own, and we're all kind of using it to write more code. But I think we also like when it has kind of this check. You see people like having agents check other agents, or there's a review agent or a sub agent, or like what Aaron Francis built, like counselor or whatever he called it, I think. But instead of just kind of YOLOing it with a kind of a single AI, like I think it's nice to kind of have an authoritative source such as Shift that can kind of guide AI with a much, much stronger context, right? I think that's pretty cool. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to let this run. It looks like it's churning through a test failure. Does seem to be related to Livewire. So we'll give that a chance to kind of fix itself. But again, that's the beauty of AI, right? It's just gonna churn through this until it achieves its goal. And if you have a test suite and if you have that context from Shift, like I can just trust this and keep hitting yes until it gets there. And I know that I'm in charge on that separate branch. When I want to merge it, I can step in and review anything at any time. And I still have all, the high level information of like what was changed. Again, nice atomic commits I can look at, basically just config file changes. It looks like some other things to check. And there it is. So with that, I think I will end today's stream and go rotate my key for the leak. And I'll see you all next Wednesday. I guess on releasing this, like it is out here and available. However, for now, the API key can only be used by subscribers to a Shifty plan. That's the only way you can get an API key currently. So maybe before next week, but maybe in next week's stream, what we can do is build an endpoint that allows any user to get an API key, and then we'll have to handle kind of the payment situation if you're going to run a paid shift. There are plenty of free shifts, but if you were going to run the Laravel 13 shift outside of a subscriber where we know it's included with your plan, maybe it's something where the API returns, the Stripe checkout link, and then once you finish that, it shoots off kind of thing. So I kind of need to think that experience through. That's probably how it's going to work. But yeah, that's kind of the big caveat right now is that analyze will work and review will work, but running it from the AI may not work. You may need to go out, purchase it, take the shift number, and then give it back to review, which is totally possible right now. But to have the whole thing automated, you'd need the API key, which is currently only available to subscribers. But I will be fixing that in the next week. So anyway, thanks everybody for joining live. I'm gonna go rotate that key. See y'all next week.